Hello everybody, Dre from Mediapire here, and today we're going to be talking about rendering a little bit. Not everything, of course, but the little bit that I actually know about rendering. So, what we need to do is create a cube and expand it out to like a screen. So we're just going to delete that, and I'm going to recreate what I have. So we have a cube. We're going to go SY, oh, nope, SX, and we're going to expand it out quite a bit. That's probably good. And then we're going to go SZ. We got a nice big screen. SX, SZ. Oh, yeah, there we go. SX. All right, so you should have a screen. We're going to pop this out a little bit, and we're going to go to shading, and we're going to add a new color, and we're going to make it dark so it'll really show us what our renders look like. Just so that way we don't have any, weird other lighting. We just want to focus on what we're working on. All right, so I'm going to delete the monkey. We'll delete the lights. And of course the camera. So Shift A, let's give us a good little monkey head. So we have something to kind of work with. Shading, just go ahead and click new. We're going to change the color real quick. We'll make it kind of like a really light pink. All right. So it's, you have these different like rendering modes, right? Let's go ahead and switch it to material preview for a second, and I'll show you why we don't want to keep it there. So first, let's go ahead and create some lights. So Shift A, light, point, bring this up, and I'm gonna like really punch this out. Now, normally you're gonna want to take a lot of time with your light, just ensure that it gets the effect that you want. I'm going to make this thing, I don't know, decently powerful, right? Now, if you switch over from material preview to rendered, you can tell what your light is doing, right? Because it emulates the actual render. Now, if I tried to render this, it actually won't work. So if I go to render, render image is going to be like, hey, you need a camera. No camera in the scene. Okay, so you go here, Shift A, camera, GZ, GY. This little guy here is our camera. Right now it's not facing anywhere towards where we need it to, so we need to bring it over so it's facing the correct direction. And then we're pressing R and X to make it look at the object. Now there are other ways of doing this, but I think we need more practice. Like we haven't done enough of it. I'm gonna bring that out, punch it out. If we want to get an idea, the nice thing about this rendering mode is, here, let's see, I got a light here somewhere. We'll just duplicate that. Shift D if you don't remember. Ooh, too many things. Okay, Shift D. As you can see, the light affects our monkey head. And now if I render again, it kind of mirrors it out. So what is reflected here is reflected in the camera. Let's bring this down a little bit. Okay, we're almost center. Now there are better ways of doing this. Okay, yep, there we are. Perfect. Okay, all right, so what we want to do at this point is that we have our camera, we have our lighted subject. Let's go ahead and briefly talk about Eevee a little bit and cycles. So Eevee is Blender's real-time engine. It is meant to be very fast and to get results very quickly. Cycles is quality at the expense of rendering time. So you get something that will eventually look way more realistic. And as you can see, because I have it rendering in the viewport, it's gonna have a hard time. So let's change it over to GPU compute, and that should help a little bit. Yeah. And as you can see, it takes some time and it will improve as it gets along. I'm not going to wait a ton of time here. I'm just going to grab a quick little screenshot of that. Yeah, so that's cycles. I'm not really going to explain cycles very much in here. We're going to mainly talk about Eevee, and mainly because I don't really use cycles myself, so we may cover it in the future, but right now we're not. Okay, so ambient occlusion is going to like punch out her shadows, right? So I'm actually going to change these a little bit. Okay, and that's essentially what you're going to get with that, is that it makes the shadows more pronounced, and you can change these settings here to make them like really punch out, right? So you should be able to see the difference of that. As you can see, they're a lot darker on the edges. Um, that's what that does. We also have bloom, and we're gonna change bloom to like a green or something really strong, right? And what I want to do is we're gonna make this light way stronger. Let's increase the radius a little bit. And why not? Okay, so when you have enough emission, you get a bloom, right? And even though my light is white, because I have my bloom settings to green, that's why you see this really strong emission coming off of my monkey. Even though the monkey really doesn't have an emission itself, it is causing the emission from the other light affecting it. So I can affect the radius of the emission to make it bigger or smaller. So if I want like just a little bit, or I can really punch it out. Again, these will only cover on like actually using this within Blender rather than other. Um, like if you imported this into a game engine, a lot of this stuff won't carry over. At least in Godot, which is the engine I mainly use, or Godot or Godot. I'm actually not sure what the correct pronunciation is. Um, anyways, so we also have depth of field. You know, you can see that it kind of affects a little bit, or either that or it's just recomputing it. I really don't play with this. I'm just gonna mainly focus on the things I actually use. Um, Performance, if you want to, kind of give it just that little bit extra quality. Motion blur mainly comes in if you're like moving an object in animation. Usually, I don't use this, so I'm only assuming that's what it does. Indirect lighting, you can bake things onto your model. So if you always kind of want like the same shadows, you can bake it. Um, I don't really use this a whole lot. I probably should. This is a good way of getting more detail without. Uh, if you make it part of the model by baking it on, then you don't have to worry about computing all the light reflecting off of it, etc. And you get a really nifty look that way. Film, you can make it transparent, I believe. I think this is so you can actually overlay it with, like if you put a movie in here and you wanted to add your VFX, you can add your VFX or export them with a transparent background. Um, let's see, Simplify I don't really use. Grease Pencil is really interesting. I actually want to see how that renders out. Okay, so right now it's not doing anything, and what I would assume this would do actually ends up doing it on freestyle. Say, let's change this down to something like 1, because if it's like super high, it's gonna look like a mess. So what it does is it kind of like traces it, gives you, sort of like those anime lines almost. If I rotate the monkey a little bit, and then I show the render, it kind of gives you that nifty little anime look almost. It's not perfect, um, but it gives you something that resembling it. See what relative does. I really don't play with it. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, that's pretty thick. All right. Anyways, that's what that does. If I turn it off, my model should be back to normal again. Yep. All right. Grease pencil. I'm not. I think it affects only like grease pencil objects. Like if I was to add an object in here, it would be the grease pencil, and then, you know, you choose the monkey, right? Bring the monkey up, make the monkey big, bring the monkey forward. I think it makes it affect it, right? But I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to waste a lot of time on it because I'm not 100% sure. I am not in front of the camera at all. Let's bring that down. Yeah, no idea. So we're gonna move on. So you have different color management, and usually it's dependent on the device you're using. If you really want to kind of like still it out, you can use like this XYZ thing. sRGB is mainly like for displays, I believe. You can change the sequencer if you want to change your, you know, change your look a little bit. I don't really play with these, so we're gonna go ahead and just turn it back to sRGB. Now, curves are, you can adjust the colors of your renders by, you know, right now I'm on blue, so that's why it kind of gets punched out a little bit more. There's also one just for like straight up colors, so I can get brighter and brighter and brighter until it gets that really interesting invert, and I can make it like really crazy town if I want to. So we're gonna return that back to something resembling normal. Okay. All right, but you know, like say I didn't want to recolor my object, but I want to render it at like night, you know, I could do that, and then maybe like make it a little darker. Um, just a quick example. You can really change the ramp. So if you want something a little bit harsher, you could. Um, Generally darker this corner, brighter this corner. It gets really interesting of what you can do. Um, let's see. You can also, you know, like do additional curves and modify it. Again, I'm not an expert on this. This is just a really, really basic overview. If you get this where it's happy and you like it the way it is, you can go up here to render, and you can go to render image, and you'll see your beautiful, beautiful artwork here. And you can go to image, save as, and we're just going to call it monkey 2 because I did a test earlier just to make sure it worked. And if you want it less compressed, you can do this. If you want it RGB, RGBA, or just black and white, you could do that. We're going to go RGBA. We're saving it as a copy with, I mean, no compression is obviously going to make it bigger. Follow scene is just going to keep it the same as the scene management with your colors. Anyways, this video has gone on long enough already. So what I'm going to do is we're going to save our monkey. We're going to take a look at our monkey, which might take a second. And then there is our beautiful artwork. With that, thank you for watching. Hopefully this was useful. I think going forward from here, mainly I'm going to focus on modeling at this point because I haven't done enough of that with you guys. And that's mainly what I want to focus on, at least for a little while. But if there's anything you guys would like to see, let me know. Well, with that, see you in the next one. Have a great day and keep on blending.